Congratulations, you've unlocked All Apologies, a show about apology tours and demanding satisfaction. I'm your host, Trucker Andy, and with me, as always, is your co-host, Joe Sixpack. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Don't forget to go to allapologies.com to find all the links to our Patreon, X, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media accounts, YouTube. And the one thing we're asking for still is to go subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can grow that community and really start, having live chat or going live there and all that kind of stuff would be super fun. But that only is going to happen if you go subscribe to the YouTube channel with Christmas right around the corner. Steal your grandma's fucking personal information. Go sign up on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, please.
Yeah, that's a good game to play for the holidays is ask to borrow your family's phones and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe them to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
See how
Steal
many
their
of your
identity.
family members you can get to subscribe. And I think it's worth it, Joe. I just put out all the paywall content that was been exclusive for Patreon only. I've been releasing the older stuff, and Friday I just unlocked the Firefest Billy McFarland episode, which was a pretty popular episode when I was putting out clips from that. People were pretty interested in that, and with Firefest 2 pending, I think it might be a good time to revisit that. So please go find that for free on our YouTube channel. I do want to tell everybody that we just did a Patreon episode that was centric to the main episode, and it featured the a popsicle race between you and I and our guests that I'd like to welcome onto the show. Today we're talking about Mom Talk, Joe, which is the TikTok channel that drives the Hulu show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And we can't talk Real Housewives without our resident subject matter expert. I say she's resident because she lives in my house. It's Jen, everybody. Welcome, Jen, to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hey,
And Jen, what did you think about the Patreon episode?
I thought it was actually quite fun. I thought the popsicle, well, I won't tell you what I thought of the popsicle so that you
Don't
can
give
go
away
and
the
find
verdict,
out.
but
No, quite fun. Different fun.
and
Yeah.
what did you think of Guy Tang?
Amazing.
What did you think of his boots?
I want them. I want his hair and I want his boots.
Joe, explain to everybody why what Guy Tang is and why they should go subscribe to the Patreon to check that out.
Okay, well, Guy Tang, I think, is famous for being a very talented hairstylist, but he's also become so successful at doing hair that he thinks he's also a talented singer.
Mhm.
And so he has a tremendous vanity project surrounding his music, which is complete garbage.
Yeah.
It's the definition of a polished turd.
Yeah.
Everything around the music seems to be very expensive and well executed, while he fails to deliver a vocal performance that is acceptable.
Yeah. Well, we do need to welcome our other guest, the only other person who even knew who Guy Tang was, and also the only person that knew how to expertly talk about the popsicle race, and whose whole idea it was to talk about this episode, this topic on this show. So please welcome from Once Over with Kaylee. It's Kaylee.
You're to blame for this.
I feel like what a list of accomplishments to put on my resume. That's just knows about popsicles, knows who Guy Tang is. It's just great.
Guy Tang, Mormon, and popsicle expert.
Oh, you know, Guy
my
Tang,
life is
you're
so
hired.
sad.
Yeah, so I did just look it up, and we did the episode about Jay-Z. Thank you, Jen, for telling me in the chat what our own show is about. How could we forget? It was the continuation of the Diddy Watch.
And
So-
and Luigi was the Patreon one, right?
Oh, right. Joe has all
I
kinds
went
of
looking.
theories
I'm
about
I'm personally, I don't know if Jen knows. I don't know if Kaylee knows. I'm personally like totally obsessed with Luigi. And only I'll bring it up just because, like, as a throwback or a follow up to it. Did we all see the perp walk for Luigi? surrounded
Yes.
by all the riot gear cops and everything.
Yes.
And my favorite thing that's going on with social media right now that I wouldn't have picked up on had it not been for the internet is what a clean cut he had. Like it's all theater, right? Like my biggest problem with it is like complete theater. But what people pointed out is like, oh, he's clean shaven. His eyebrows are touched up. He has a fucking epic fade going on this perp walk. What does that mean? All the prisoners respected him. You don't get a fucking tight fade in fucking federal or in a prison.
You do know he's not in the prison yet, right?
He's in jail.
Well, he's
then
in-
who did it? Who cleaned him up then?
His lawyers. That's
His
very
lawyers.
common for lawyers to come in and get them a haircut, get them a nice outfit, which he changed into when he got into the courtroom. He's in protective custody right now.
So they want him to look really good for his perp walk?
They want him to look like
Yeah.
a nice, normal, like stand-up
Sympathetic,
guy,
interesting.
and they're feeding
It's
into
this-
the social media hysteria of he's so hot. What a
Okay,
hot
that's
killer."
interesting because the other side of the internet is saying that, you know, Shiv Boy, Pill Boy, and Brick touched him up to make sure that he looks good, that he was like very well respected within the prison community, and they made sure that he got cleaned up so he looked good. Because because the other side of it is just like, oh look, he pissed himself. He's insane. Like
This
trying
is
to
what
make him look crazy.
conspiracy theorists do: is railroad the conversation into shit they want to talk. You forgot.
Well, no, I'm glad we did bring it
Tinfoil
up.
under that
Because,
hat? Is there tinfoil under that hat?
no, I'm glad I brought it up because that makes sense too. And so I'm glad I got a different perspective on it.
Yeah, we have to talk.
Because I would just be sitting in my
awful edge.
basement thinking of all the conspiracies. So I'm glad we brought it up. Anyway, and you can cut all
Okay,
this out.
we'll keep you grounded, Joe. No, it's all staying. But I do want to get to the subject of the day, which is the secret lives of Mormon wives, more specifically Mom Talk, which is a Mormon Mormon circle of friends that got their own show. Why did they get their own? They got their own show based on the TikTok channel, right? But then
Well, they got their own
it
show
spiraled
because
into
of the
The scandals.
scandal, which isn't really in the show in the end, but the swinging scandal is what got them the show.
Oh, okay. I thought they were recording before the scandal broke, though.
No,
Oh, okay.
they started recording because the scandal had broke.
Okay. And they all have a million
Then they
followers.
stopped because the main girl that was involved in the scandal had an incident with the law, and then they picked
Right.
back up when that situation resolved itself and she had been through what she needed to go through. But by
Okay.
then, anybody else that was involved in the scandal was no longer involved in the show, except for her.
Gotcha. So that's the genesis of why this is a show. And just for people that might not be aware, the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives follows a group of 8 Utah-based TikTok influencers known as Mom Talk, T-O-K, not to be confused with talk. It's Mom Talk, as they navigate the complexities of their personal and professional lives. The first season was revealed in its entirety. Well, whatever. It's all out on Hulu. And it's the most watched unscripted season premiere of 2024. And it's slated for another 20 episodes
Yes.
set to be released in 2025.
Because we all need to find out if Mom Talk can survive this.
Yeah, will
Yes.
Mom Talk survive? Every episode ends with somebody going, I don't know if Mom Talk will survive this.
Nobody cares at this point if Mom Talk survives. Nobody cares about their TikToks. Everybody just wants to follow the drama of them not being the normal, standard, chaste Mormons. They are Mormons who are not wearing their garments. They are Mormons who are powerful women.
Mormon
like, it's-
2.0.
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't matter if Mom Talk survives.
I know. Do we need even more of this?
And so, oh, okay. Here
All
we
right.
go. Yeah, more of this. So, God,
They're the best dancers I've ever seen.
is this the same people?
Yeah, Mom Talk is more than just the 8 girls in this
Yes.
show.
The thing that drives me crazy. So, like I said, we're very close to where Mormonism happened. I've dealt with, at one point, our friend dated a Mormon. She was insufferable. She was an insufferable person. And what drives me crazy about this specifically, like this formulaic image verse, is just like they're going to position themselves as these freaking thirst trap social media thoughts and stuff like that, when nothing could be absolutely for look, everyone, we're shaking our ass and we're all like hot and look at my butt and all this. It could not be more fake. They could not fucking blue balls bait you more with this bullshit than, and that's like everything about them is like
I
they're
don't
so
know.
desperate to seem like edgy, or like their vices are like laughable. Ooh,
Soda
I'm
pop.
drinking the non-diet soda today. Fuck you.
I
hate
think
these
that I think that these are Mormon women who are realizing that they have vaginas and horniness. I think that this really, I don't think that part, I think there's a lot of insincere things about this show. That part I don't think is insincere. I
That's
think
my
that
husband.
I think that they are wild in the sack, and I think that they are doing inappropriate things and things that the Mormon ladies shouldn't be doing, but they're enjoying it, I think. And I will say, I don't generally like female empowerment bullshit. Like, to me, it usually comes across as fake. I actually think that this is an interesting transition in Mormonism because women have been so oppressed is the wrong word, but, you know, it kind of gives along the...
These
Yeah,
women are
repressed.
repressed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, like, these women are now the breadwinners of their families.
That's
Like,
what
that's
I love
not-
about it. The man
Yeah.
is the king of the household in Mormon culture, but these women, most of them are making more than their husbands, and they're doing it by taking power over their bodies, something that they've been taught their whole lives only belongs to their husband, which goes all the way back to the garments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually like that part of it.
Now,
Yeah,
now
no,
they're
I like.
soaking all over Salt Lake City now.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so
really
in
like
the
how
show.
I like how they're catching up to the fucking 1800s when Susan B. Anthony was really at the forefront of this. But now in 2024 on social media in Utah, it's a fucking big topic. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, Joe's against it.
Joe loves it.
Yeah. I want to introduce everybody to the cast here so we have even more context. Now, we talked about the scandal, the soft swinging scandal, and this is basically revolves around this woman who is, I would say if there's a hero to the show, this is Taylor Paul, right?
Yeah.
Would everybody agree that she's the main character?
Yeah.
I love Taylor's story arc because you hate her in the beginning and you're like, oh my God, she is the trashiest of the trash Mormon sluts. Like, you are like, this is the one that is the problem. And by the end, they edit it so well that you're like, oh my God, she's so great. Isn't it so beautiful? All the stuff that she's doing. And she goes through so many different things. We get to see her getting arrested. We get to see her pregnancies. We get to, like, and again, she is the center of the, like, swinging scandal. So, like, this is a wild woman. This is a wild woman.
She's super fucking trashy, but
Yeah,
somehow
I love it.
ends up being
We
very
watched-
likable.
We watch her mother beg her to stop making bad decisions, and we cheer her on as she continues to make those bad decisions because there's just something lovable about her. She's only hurting herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not like someone else on the show who can't stand it that this girl has the limelight. And there
Andy,
she
hang on.
is.
Hang on, Andy. Andy, hang on. Hang on.
What?
Go back.
What? Go ahead. Oh,
No. I like that she has like three names, like John
Like
Wilkes Booth or a
like this.
she's the Luigi of this show for sure. Like
Or
she's
she's
doing all the
Sarah
wrong
Jessica
things but
Parker.
getting all the love.
Is she the Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah, she doesn't. I don't think she uses the Frankie part.
Yes,
though.
she does.
Oh,
Yeah,
does
she does.
Yeah,
Because
she
I'm
does.
constantly like, is it Frankie Paul Taylor or Frankie Taylor Paul? Or I can never get her name right.
Paul, you should just know
Yeah.
this by now, Joe.
Be
What?
jealous of these numbers, everybody. 4.1 million followers on TikTok. This is an older article, but it's probably even more now.
I
Mhm.
think, but the other thing before we move on from her, that the reason that she's likable or whatever is because 90% of the population doesn't like Mormons, and she's like bucking the she's like
She's the
bucking Mormon
least.
tradition the most, right?
Yeah.
By being pregnant outside of a marriage and refusing to get married just because her religion says she should. And so
That's
a
interesting.
normal person supports that, whereas
blowing-
everyone in Utah
blowing
is
her
like,
friends.
fuck this bitch.
We also love
Blowing
an
her friends'
underdog.
husbands.
We love an underdog, and she keeps making the kind of decisions that put her in the underdog, or makes the kind of decisions to put herself in the underdog position.
But she is also white trash. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of trash, this is the villain of the show, Whitney Levitt. What are everybody's collective thoughts on Whitney? She fucking sucks out loud, is my opinion.
She's desperately trying to be a trad mom, which does Joe, do you know what a trad mom is?
Trad wives, oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's trying to be a trad wife. And the way that she dresses is that that last year's prairie dress look that everybody was doing from Target. Everything looks like pajamas or looks like something from Little House on the Prairie.
Here, I have a image to share of that.
Yeah, should we talk about Whitney's outfits on the show for 2 seconds?
Yeah. Give me 1 second, and I'll pull up. Oh wait, where is it?
While you're doing that, go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I was just going to say the key with Whitney is that I don't even know if she can be a nice person because she's so overtaken by her seething jealousy of the fact that she's not the center of this show, and that even when someone else is having a scandal and she tries to bring up her scandal, it gets overshadowed by this girl's new scandal. So she just never she never can figure out how to make herself the center, and it's so all over her face how much she can't stand that she's not the queen bee.
Yeah. At one point I was like, is she the only one that knows how to dance? Because like it seemed like she was the one responsible for like orchestrating everything to like
I think
things set up.
It's interesting that you bring that up. So I watched the show. I was completely glued to it. I could not stop watching. They had me at the advertisements. I watched it on premiere day. I was so excited about it. And I didn't look anything up about any of these people until after the show because I wanted to be surprised by the show. As soon as I finished watching the entire season, I looked everything up about them, including looking at all of their TikToks. And what I learned is that out of all of these girls, despite the fact that I hate Whitney, she is the only one that is actually good at TikTok. She should be the queen bee. I understand why she gets frustrated that she isn't the queen bee because she makes good, interesting dances. Now she's doing stuff like with her husband, like she'll do little TikToks with her husband. They're great. I was unironically watching them. At first I was looking at it to laugh at her. And then I was like, wait, this is actually like, it's not my jam, but it's good. It's legitimately good.
Yeah.
This is one of the more outrageous outfits that I found. I don't
never
like
seen
it
that.
when people heavily feature their pregnancy, like it's some trophy that they've earned. But this is bold, I would say. And I'm going to go throw up now.
Well, she just had a baby. At the end of the filming of the first season, she was pregnant. So she just had a baby. So that might be relatively new.
I called that pregnancy too. In like the 3rd or 4th episode, I was like, that bitch, she's fucking pregnant. I was like, I know.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me in any way.
We got to get to that reveal, but we're going to go through the episodes one by one. So, Joe, did you have something you wanted to share? Did you find it?
Yeah, I just wanted to share. Tell me if you can see this here. Oh, this is just some of her outfits. Okay. Now, when you talked about at first I was like, what the fuck is this bitch on? But then I did come to realize because Jen asked me, do I know what trad wives are? And yeah, that's like 100% like a Mormon fad online. But I'm like, oh, wait, this is the style there. Because I'm like, this is not just Whitney. Then you see like Jen Affleck or like other people wearing all of them.
It was really popular last year or the year before. And it's that square neck and the girl loves a poofy sleeve.
Right. So what my question for the ladies on the show was this just a Utah fad, a trad wife fad, or was this a fad in fashion in general?
No,
this was like
it was everywhere.
Yeah, there was a point when you went into Target, like not this past summer, but the summer before, when you went in Target, that's all you saw were like these nightgown dresses.
sometimes fashion is just frustrating as far as like who's doing this. Like I hate this high-waisted Taylor Swift stuff that's been going on for a long time, and then you get like this poofy 16 Candles nonsense.
Joe
It's
just
just
wants to see
it's
a belly
terrible.
button.
Like it was terrible then, it's terrible now. And
Thank
it's more of a clown suit. Now they're just like, we got to go bigger. We got to go Guy Tang boot level with our fucking sleeves. It's insane.
This is maybe my favorite. They're not characters, but
Why? Because she's the youngest.
if you'd let me explain, I'll tell you before you start yelling why everything about the show sucks. This is the Jim Halpert of the show. This is Layla Taylor. Every time somebody is having a meltdown, every time somebody's throwing somebody under the bus, they cut to Layla and she's looking at the camera like, can you believe this shit? And it's the funniest part of the show. I mean, I would say that this is Dwight, this is Michael Scott, and this is Jim Halpert right here. She is newly single, so I think she's ahead of the curve when the ladies are talking about people that are finding their, the reality outside of Mormonism and what
I would say she's right in the middle of it. I think she's sort of like that the pinnacle of. There's the girls that have already gone Mormon 2.0 or given up their religion altogether, and then there's the girls that are what they call it, like the sinners and the saints.
Right.
She's right in the middle of I'm getting a divorce. I'm only, what is she, like 22? She's so young.
She's
Yeah.
so
And-
young.
And she's just discovering I can get a tattoo. What do I think about my sexuality? What can I do with my body? And
Yeah.
like she's right in the center of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out that there's two factions. There's the super religious and then the people that are just kind of like trying to have fun with it.
But also,
This is another one of those people
Andy,
that's
do I
trying to
get to
have fun
comment
with
on
it.
any of these people before you just keep going?
John, you were fucking screaming 2 seconds ago. Go ahead.
No, but to what you guys said, she's like right in the middle. I feel like I don't know if it's because she's so young, and we talked about this earlier on, where it feels like, especially within the Mormon Church, they have a unique perspective of battling the patriarchy because it's such a patriarchal sect or religion anyway. Like it really centers around that. So they really do have, like, they're really entrenched in that idea. And due to her age and the idea that she's getting a divorce right now at 22, she almost becomes like the folklore, like the person that they're gonna like prop up and be like, look, this is who we're fighting for, and like she's just like the example that we're like here to share. Also, the only woman of color in the in either the show or like
Yeah.
the 5 people who are not white in Mormonism.
Joe,
Ironically, she says very little too.
I was going to say, I thought it was interesting that they actually give her very little screen time. Again, she does kind of cheat into the camera, but she really doesn't have a story arc. She's very neutral. And Jen, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. She is kind of in the middle of the two groups. And because of that, there's just not a lot to say about her. And which is unfortunate because I think she is compelling.
She got a dedicated episode. I mean, there's what, eight episodes? Like, I don't know if it was the full episode, but
I think
like
she
her
came
whole,
around in the second half of the season. You started to
Yeah.
see her like open up a little more. Maybe she got more comfortable with the cameras.
the
She's
whole Vegas
also
trip was for her.
We're going to
She's
get
al-
into the episode descriptions. So go ahead, Kaylee.
I was just gonna say-
I want to speed through the cast so we can get to the episodes.
She's
ahead.
also the only one that it's easy to identify who she is because everybody else looks exactly the same. And so for the first couple of episodes, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like,
Right,
I,
right.
I
Everybody
don't,
looks like
I
this.
don't know. Yeah, they all have the same haircut and they all just look. It's insane, you know.
Right, and
I
it's all thanks to this individual right here. I know we
Yeah.
just skipped past Demi, but this is Jessie. She owns a hair salon. We're gonna
Jizz
get to
Academy.
that.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
Jen?
need to talk about her hair salon.
Yeah, we will. But so she's the one that is making everybody look exactly the same. They all look
And
like
the oldest.
She's the oldest too, Joe. That's not a bad thing. Settle down.
Hag, old hag.
just because I like Layla the best because she's the youngest, it doesn't mean we have to hate Jessie because she's the oldest.
Well, only relevant because they put everyone's age on the screen every single time they mention them.
Yeah, and is she the tallest? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Deal? She's kind of the most headstrong, combative one outside of Whitney.
Yeah.
Whitney's passive aggressive. Demi is like aggressive, right?
Yeah.
I love Demi.
Jen?
I'm just trying to remember. One of the two of them is married to a former Real Housewife's husband, who's much older than her.
That's her.
That is her. Okay.
Yeah, she has like a 45-year-old husband. She's remarried.
Yeah.
And seemingly having the best life compared to everybody else. A lot of people are living like a repressed life, or their marriage is in shambles, or so she seems to be remarried and happy.
I really like her. And the other thing that I will say about her, and I not to be like just totally judgy all about appearance, she's the prettiest one to me.
Yeah.
All of them kind of blend together. Demi, there's something about her that's just so stunningly gorgeous. She looks effortless and yet beautiful. And I'm like, oh, you're so pretty.
Okay, so we talked about how Joe, did you have more to say? Sorry.
I was going to say, like you were saying, like she was like almost, she didn't like self-appoint leadership or whatever, but it's just like, well, Frankie Paul's kind of out. She's pregnant. She can't lead anything. Nobody likes Whitney. She wishes she was the leader, but she's not. So then like Jen, the oldest lady who has the hair, who is like so it seems like Jen is fighting a proxy war amongst everybody and thrusting Demi out is like the default. It's like Demi's the Ukraine to the United States is Jessie.
Okay. Speaking of Jessie and how she makes everybody look the same, this is her
Jizz Academy.
putting on a clinic at her hair salon. Jay-Z Styles, that poorly designed logo has a slash between the J and the Z so that it looks like Jizz Styles.
Jizz. Can I point out though? Okay, first of all, I want to go to Jizz hair salons so fucking bad. You have literally no idea. They made if this show was nothing but a commercial for her hair extensions. Boy, oh boy, did it work on me. I was Googling how much these things cost. I was trying to figure out if I needed to get samples so that I could color match my own hair. And then I was like, maybe I'll just go to Utah. Maybe I can have her do my hair. And then I realized that I had officially lost my mind. So no jizz for this girl's hair is, I guess, what I'm getting at.
But Kaylee kept getting asking for the something about Mary, which on the weekend.
Cameron Diaz.
The Jizz style.
They didn't understand for some reason.
The guy with the mop said, I do that service. No, but to your point, you mentioned it. Is this show just a commercial for that and Baby Mama and every other brand? Like they're like not even quiet or subtle about the idea that almost the whole reason Mom Talk even exists is for their brand deals and driving different, like that's how they're making their money. When they're like this one in particular is like, I'm the breadwinner of my family. Blah blah blah. It's all just the brand deals that they're getting, and the Hulu show is just a vehicle for their own brand deals, really.
And yeah, to Jen's point, this is probably the one that is supporting her husband the most financially.
Yes.
The only one to go that uses her last name on the show, because this is Jen Affleck, who is tangentially related to Ben Affleck, and they never shut the fuck up about it.
Which may not be true anymore.
I was just going to say, okay, so the whole season, she keeps saying, oh, I was the original Jen Affleck because of Ben and Jen getting married. And she just constantly is talking about how they're related. I tried to look up what this relationship is. There's no relationship, right? Like that, she is not an Affleck in any relation to Ben Affleck.
They just,
as far as I can tell.
They just happen to have the same last name.
Yeah, and she thinks it's cute, and it probably helps her brand deals, so she says it.
I imagine her husband, who we can get into, I'm sure, at some point, because
Fucking
he's my
worst.
least favorite person on the show.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't be surprised if he told her, because he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, my dad is Ben Affleck's second cousin or whatever," and it's like, and then I think there was little murmurs right at the end that like, actually, nobody can actually connect them into actual relation in any way.
Oh, okay,
Anyway.
wait. So, all right, wait.
Oh,
So
this poor
who's
girl.
related to Ben Affleck then? Is it her husband or her?
Her husband.
Okay, because I was gonna say, we're like she's related to Ben Affleck. Her name's Jen Affleck. Okay, so and then I'm like, they said I thought Zach Affleck, and I'm like, did he change his name to Affleck?
So-
like, what the fuck?
That's exactly why it's so confusing, because she keeps saying, I'm the original Jen Affleck. And no, you aren't, because you are young as all hell, baby girl. I like Jen and Ben got married. I don't know enough about
Well, she
pop
probably got
culture to
married
know
at
the
12.
answer. That might
She's
be
more.
true. All right. Yeah, but
And
she's
this-
like
the most
13
devout
now.
one.
Even before, when Jen and Ben were together, they weren't married the first time they got engaged, but she was like just a little twinkle in someone's eye back then.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Also, this is the hottest one, not Demi. But
Oh, you're wrong. You're wrong.
This is just midget Demi.
The-
What are you talking about?
from the heterosexual guy perspective, Jen
No.
Affleck is the best looking one.
This one and this
Oh,
one
Demi.
are this. Well, I don't know. You could see it's like Kardashians. You know, this is the Courtney and
Come
this is the Chloe. Whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Which
And this is the most
which is the better
tragic-
looking one?
This is the most like forgettable, tragic one, Michaela.
No, that's my favorite one, the half dead one.
Yeah.
She has a disease, and I feel so bad for her because it's flared up the whole time that she's filming,
Yeah.
and she doesn't look great. And
And all the assholes like me won't shut up about it. So, yeah,
This
she
whole
has,
show
like,
is a disease.
she has like sunken eyes, so she looks kind of rough without the makeup on. But she falls into the category of the traditional like saints one that are friends of Whitney and shame the other ones for taking a sip of Mike's hard lemonade. She sucks. And this is the tall blonde that stands out from the rest. This is Macy, who I don't know. She doesn't do that much on the show except kind of.
You think Macy stands out from the rest of these girls? They all
She's
look
blonde.
exactly the same to me.
I think she's
blonde.
gorgeous. I do think she's taller, and her hair is less honey blonde and more blonde. But
Yeah.
she tries to be Switzerland. Like, she's the only one that's friends
Yeah.
with Whitney, and she tries to like she just wants
Switzerland.
everybody to just be friends.
Yeah,
Everybody kind
I
of gets
think she's
mad at her
beautiful.
for playing the middle.
No, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I think you watched the show a long time ago.
Yeah.
She's the one with the fucking confession shit that like brought it to Dakota or whatever that fucking idiot's name is that Frankie.
Oh, she blew
Junior-
up Taylor's. She blew up
Frankie
Taylor's
say
marriage.
relax. Brought that to stirred the whole pot. She's a
Well,
shit
yeah,
stirrer.
she hates that guy, and I don't blame her.
What's his name?
Dakota.
Dakota. Fucking Dakota.
No grown man should be named Dakota. Sorry if there's any Dakotas listening.
He's not a grown man.
No, he's not.
All right, let's
no,
get
but
into
she's
some of the
not
episode
Switzerland. She
breakdown.
sucks.
Sorry, Joe. What was that?
I said she's not Switzerland. She sucks. She if Demi attacks everybody head on, Macy or whatever her fucking name is like, oh, did you hear this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? She's the fucking Jay Leno of like, oh, I didn't do anything. I just said that, you know, your sister sucked his cock in the closet. I didn't do anything.
Well, she might be the spoon that stirs the pot, but I just meant in the relationship, she's the only one that stays on Whitney's side. And
Joe, say one nice thing about the show, because if you just say everything about it sucks, nobody's gonna tolerate your opinions. What did you like about the show?
Nothing. What do you mean?
You didn't like that the hair salon was called Jizz? That's funny.
accidental.
That's why it's funny, because she's so stupid that she doesn't understand that she made her hair salon called Jizz.
They brought it up, didn't they? They brought it up. She's like, I'm tired of everybody saying that.
Yeah. How did nobody see your
Why
logo
does
and give you a
everyone
heads up?
I'm
All
trying
right,
to
let's
think-
get
I'm
into
trying
the
to think
episode.
if there- Of
Don't worry,
if
you
there's
can think about
anything
it.
that
You
I
can
like
think
about it.
Think about
But-
it, and you can say at the end. but I want to move through the episodes so that this isn't 3 hours long.
Do
Uh,
you
and-
want? Do you want me
Go
to do? Should we do the Whitney's dance thing before we? Because that's kind of like feels like the most famous thing about it before anything else.
Let's save that for a minute
Okay.
because I think that's centric to as a show that revolves around apologies. That is probably the thing that is
Okay.
going to be apology focused. So we'll save that for the end.
Oh, is it the
And-
baby dance?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in episode 1, the series opens with the Jen is memorizing the choreography to the RSV TikTok. The series opens with the aftermath of a viral soft swinging scandal with the mom talk community. Taylor, central to the controversy, faces significant personal upheaval, culminating in her arrest for domestic assault following a heated altercation with her boyfriend Dakota.
All completely stained.
Whitney Levitt returns from Hawaii, bringing her own set of secrets that further stir the group's dynamics. I don't remember Whitney's secret. What was Whitney's secret?
That her husband is gay and was partaking in gay love affairs.
Does that come out in the first episode?
No, he was
No, it comes
on
out
that
in the
doesn't
second
grind-
episode.
Yeah.
Was it Grinder or on Tinder?
She says
was on-
Tinder. She says Tinder, but she says on the
It's
show
Grindr.
Tinder, but the
Oh.
real scandal was that it was Grinder.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Because we watched the first. I think we watched the first 2 or 3 a while ago, and then I was like, "This is not for me." And then we decided to do this episode, so I went back and watched 4 through 8, and I forgot that because you brought it up even later in the series. We were into like episode 6 or 7, and you're like, "Yeah, because he's super gay," and I was like, "Oh, when did that?" I thought it was just like you were just saying that because he was in the closet and you could tell. I didn't know
No.
it came out in episode
So-
1.
I would like to point out that in the first episode, before you find out about that scandal, it is so clear that he is gay. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like to stereotype, but I saw him and I was like, that's a gay man. Like, he is 100% gay. There is like not even, he is putting babies in his wife because that's his obligation to the church, but he is thinking about men while he's doing it. And I think that's great for him. I just wish that he could be a gay man in Utah instead
I
of having
love
to
that
keep
for
putting
him.
babies in Whitney.
So to that point, because you brought this up before, is that like they're all kind of like look the same, or it's hard to tell who's who?
Yeah.
Whitney and her husband specifically have 3 different looks in the first fucking episode. I'm
Yeah.
like, who the fuck are they? Get back from Hawaii.
Yeah,
and
he's like a hipster guy
bleak
for a little
blonde,
bit. Yeah.
like Mormonized, like blonde dude. And then the next time you see him, he looks kind of normal. And then another episode, he's got like slicked back hair and looks like some Italian or something. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I
That
can't even tell
also-
the same
It's
guy.
because
apart.
he's
Yeah.
gay.
Well,
It's because he's
episode
gay.
1 and 2 were filmed so far apart from each other too. So they were showing clips from before when the scandal happened, which was
Yeah.
the first looks. Then they were filming the pilot for episode 1 while the scandal had just broke. And it was like, we all don't like Taylor and she destroyed Mom Talk. And Whitney took off for Hawaii and said, it's because I need to get away from this Taylor scandal. Then they come back for episode 2, 9 months later. Whitney has cut her hair. She looks completely different. And that's when we find out that she didn't leave because of Taylor's scandal. She left because of her own scandal, which she told everybody wasn't true, but it was true. And then she wanted sympathy from everybody, and then something else happened. So
All
Because
right,
it's
we're going to
all
get into episode
age.
2, right? But let's just talk about soft swinging for 2 seconds.
That's the dumbest phrase in the world.
Just because
Stupid.
I don't know how it's better that it's only blowjobs. I don't think
Is that the definition?
I did a little bit of reading about it, and as far as like a recap of this, basically it's like if your partner gives you the green light, you have carte blanche to do everything except fuck, and that
I don't believe it.
But a lot of people had different rules and different deals that they made with their partners, and people were breaking those rules, and that kind of is
Well, that's how
why.
Taylor's
Scam.
marriage ended. Yeah.
Yes.
And
So
most-
my understanding of the soft swinging was, and I could be totally wrong about this. My understanding of it was that it was kind of like everybody's having sex in the same. It was kind of like an orgy. So like there were people that were all having sex in the same room, but they were all having sex with their partners. That's my impression of what the scandal was.
Oh, I thought it was.
I could be very wrong. I'm sure there was some partner swapping because they reference partner swapping, and perhaps it's you're allowed to partner swap as long as you're not doing vaginal intercourse.
It's like
I
you're
thought it was partner
stoking-
swapping, but your partner was there. So you're all at a partner. You're at a party. She said that first we started by just like kissing. Girls kissed girls, and then some of
Yeah.
the husbands kissed some of the girls, and then some more stuff happened. But everybody was still present. And then
And
the
then
problem became
That's
when
it.
she
That's where
went
it
and
stopped.
when she
And
went out with guys without
and
her
then
husband.
Whitney's husband kissed Dakota, and it was all over.
I don't believe any of that. Okay. And I know I said that fucking the
Joe-
prisoners
Joe
all
thinks
touched up Luigi, and you guys
There was-
say it's his lawyer. All right, so I know that I'm far off. These are all like, ew, she kissed somebody else's husband. We're swinging. He kissed her, and she kissed him. That's it. That's where it ended. These people, the little fucking Jen Afflecks and the half-dead Michaelas and everything, would have nothing to do with these people
None of
if
them.
they were orgying and fucking each other.
None
They
of
would not
them
even
were.
talk to them if that was the case.
None of them were part of the
Ooh,
swinging.
they use tongue. Ooh.
None of those other girls,
That's it.
except for Taylor, were part of the
Yeah,
swinging group.
Taylor
These-
is the only badass of this bunch, and she is the only one who was a part of the swinging scandal.
Don't believe.
And
any
that's
of it.
why
These are the most
Whitney hates
basic
her.
bitches that ever fucking
Joe?
fell onto the internet.
Joe, when did you become QAnon?
No, I'm just saying these people are fucking. This is all like theater. For like they're all just want you to think that they're cool. These people have nothing to spend their money on except for fucking new hairstyles and plastic surgery and fucking soda bars, and they have nothing else to do. It's just all like them trying to seem edgy. The least edgy people trying to seem like they're fucking hip and cool, and they're not.
It's entertainment. It's for entertainment
Well,
value. You have to
I know,
lend credence to that.
Well,
Let's-
when Maximus asked if we were not entertained, I am not entertained.
I know.
I think what you're seeing is
Not for you.
just a bunch of really repressed young people who were forced to get married so that they could have sex and then realized they could do other things. And you don't
Yeah.
believe they're doing those other things. I believe they did those other things.
Yeah,
don't
I think
believe it. don't
I
believe
think
they
that
did any of
all
it.
of the there is no fucking way that all of these Mormon people in Utah are not sometimes banging each other. Like, there's no way. There's just no way. They are horny, sentient humans, just like the rest of us. That is like it would make no sense. I'm not saying that every single person who is a horny, sentient human has to cheat if they are not getting sex within their relationship. I'm just saying that there's an awful lot of people in Utah that are like that, and their husbands are gay, or they're, whatever is happening in their lives. I guarantee you that they have realized that they have the parts that can go into the other parts, and then they have fun with that.
Well, I mean, for
Their
the
whole lives
most
ahead of
part,
them.
I don't know, but I mean, it's 100% a fact that it's old men fucking kids, and they're fucking all the kids. Like, that's Mormonism. Like, so are there fucked up things going on in Utah? 100%.
I missed that episode.
Are they
Joe.
happening on this show?
Jesus
No.
Christ! What the fuck? When did that? Why do you bring that up? That has nothing
That's
to do
what
with
it
the show.
is.
Okay, that wasn't. I
It's
missed that.
all old. It's all old men who marry 12-year-olds. What are you talking about? Are you not familiar with Mormonism?
I think modern Mormonism is young people marrying young people. They go to
Yeah.
BYU, they meet each other, they get married immediately so that they
Yeah, I
can
don't
then
know.
have
You
sex.
guys don't know. I guess you
I will
have
say,
some watered down version of what the patriarchy.
There's more than
in
one
Utah
kind
is.
of Mormonism. We're talking about the Latter-day Saints Mormonism that's in Salt Lake City. I think you're talking about like we live in a bunker and we wear prairie dresses and we don't have any
and we're
electronics.
polygamous, and we're
Yeah.
So I will say, I know there are quite a few ex-Mormons in the Dabbleverse community, actually. I have talked with like 4 or 5 ex-Mormons within the Dabbleverse community.
Name them.
I absolutely will not. I don't want to dox anybody, but I have talked with like 4 or 5 of them, and I've had really interesting conversations with them. And all of them, I have asked, "Did you watch this show?" Because I was like, I really want to know like what a Mormon's view of this is. I got one of them to watch the show. None of the other ones would, but I got one of them. I got one of them to watch the show, and he said, "Yeah, this feels very familiar to kind of both what my family's expectations of are for me, and also what it's like to see when people rebel." And he said that the thing that was the most shocking about the show to him was that these people were actually willing to go public with it. The fact that these women were willing to make a TV show where their families were all going to see what they were getting into, that was the most shocking part, because that brings shame to the community. And it's sort of like, Orthodox Judaism in that way, or being Amish in that way. If you shame your community, you're getting shunned. And so I think that most of the women who participated in the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives all had already kind of, one, they wanted money. I think Joe is right about that. He's doing the money
they're financially
symbol.
independent.
But they probably had already not necessarily renounced Mormonism, but had removed themselves enough from it that wasn't a scary thing for them.
I think you're totally right about that.
I agree with all of that, but yeah, but Jen Affleck on the show says this too, or whatever, is that like she's the breadwinner, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
right, let's move on to the other episodes. This is not about religion, Mormonism as a whole, or like Catholicism, who's fucking kids in Catholicism or Mormonism. This is about mom talk. And we're gonna.
And is it going to survive this?
Yeah. Can mom talk survive this? All right, hang on.
I feel like one person said that once, and they just use it every episode.
No, everybody says it all the time. Okay.
I noticed that Andy and Joe did not join us in our dance.
You'll notice that the lineup looks very different right there. But I have to bring up, just as a digression, this, because of that song, this also happened. Hang on.
Oh no.
So Justin Timberlake recently apologized for having a wardrobe, of all people, a wardrobe malfunction happened at the Justin Timberlake concert.
Who pulled off his booby guard?
Yeah. if only it was just the booby guard. This is Justin Timberlake's harness, putting his junk on display.
Oh,
not very impressive.
I didn't understand what I was watching with that. I wasn't looking at Justin Timberlake's crotch. Because have you seen Pink do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I'm
It's incredible. And I'm like, so now Justin Timberlake is flying around in arena?
Yeah.
Just let Pink do it.
Okay. In episode 2, nearly a year after the soft swinging scandal, Taylor is pregnant with Dakota's child and seeks to reintegrate into mom talk. Tensions surface with Whitney because Whitney thinks that Taylor's a fucking piece of shit. And they question the authenticity of their friendship with Taylor. Whitney opts to skip Taylor's baby shower, signaling deeper rifts within the group. And this is where Whitney becomes the villain of the show. Everybody's kind of supporting each other, and just to keep the views up on mom talk, right? And Whitney thinks that she is going to take it over and get Taylor out in a Game of Thrones gambit. Is that right?
Well, I think Whitney's, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, but I think she's one of the main creators of it.
She's the OG.
Yes. And this goes back to what I was alluding to before, where when she came back from Hawaii and they were starting to refilm again, she wanted to let the group know that though she had vehemently denied everything that was going on with her husband and told them all it was absolutely untrue and that they were just going to go on a long vacation to Hawaii, now she wants all of their sympathy because in reality he actually was on Tinder/Grindr, and she would like that to be the new scandal. But as she is revealing that to everyone, Taylor wants to sympathize with her by saying, I totally know how hard it is that you're going through this. I'm currently going through a miscarriage. I'm miscarrying literally as I sit here. And then it turned into, oh my God, she's miscarrying. I feel so bad for her. And everybody didn't give a crap about what was going on with Whitney. And that was the moment that Whitney became the villain, because that's when she went, oh, this girl's getting all of my attention and this is not okay.
Yes.
And then Taylor gets pregnant again.
Yeah.
I don't see how a miscarriage is more entertaining than, oh, my husband is gay.
Not more entertaining. She got the love from the girl.
Yeah, these women all can understand the tragedy of a miscarriage. They cannot understand the tragedy of having a gay husband because to them, a gay man doesn't exist. So they literally don't understand that. They go, oh, this is a weird thing that this woman is saying to me. They literally don't understand it. But all of them are like, oh my God, if I was carrying a baby and then I lost that baby, we all have to take care of her. We have to, oh my God, Taylor needs us right now. That's how these women think.
And Taylor's also being very honest about everything. She's honest about the swinging. She's honest about the fact that she got arrested. She's honest about what's going on, that she shouldn't have gotten pregnant, but she did. And she said that she's losing it, which, by the way, she'll do it again. Whitney's been lying. They tried to give Whitney support when her scandal happened. And she was just like, nope, everything's great. It's not true. Leave me alone. And so they don't feel a want or a need to give her.
They don't feel a kin.
Love.
Yeah, and also it's kind of hypocritical for Whitney to come in and be like, oh, my husband is a sexual deviant. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, in the eyes of this ultra-religious clique of...
No, you were right. Keep going.
But again, she doesn't admit it on camera that it was men. She just says he was...
Yeah.
You're right.
Like dating platform.
But she's the first one to turn around and start pointing a holier-than-thou finger at anybody that's having a sip of alcohol or going to... a strip club or anything that's outside of a moral high ground, she looks down on with her little clique within the group. So it's funny that she wanted to garner all this plot attention that revolved around, which would inevitably come out on the show if they focused on it enough. They would come out that it was Grindr and not Tinder.
So, let me just say it, like part of my issue with this show, or the reason that you're like, well, did you like anything about the show? And I was just like, no, I really didn't like anything about it, because it all seems like, what plot lines can we develop for this show?
Yes.
Like to even the point where like Taylor, Frankie, Paul, and Dakota, I would venture to guess, are a perfectly happy couple who they're just like, well, let's insert drama, because how are we going to fucking have a show about couples that like each other? Like, so they're like, we'll just create this whole drama and it'll be an entertaining show. And then Whitney's coming back and going, how am I going to be entertaining and stand out on this show because I've got nothing going on? Oh my, I do think her husband's gay and everything, but it's just like, how can we make these plot lines interesting?
Yeah,
this one's half dead and dying. This one fucking runs Jizz Academy. This one is boring. Like, I don't know what, this one's half black. Like, I don't know, how are we going to make this interesting? Because it's not.
That is exactly how reality TV works. I will throw the one caveat in that I think you're right. Whitney's trying to make her own storylines and come up with, I'm going to go get a sheep and we're gonna have a homesteading.
Right, exactly.
But I actually think Taylor's incredibly messy life is incredibly messy. I think this guy's a former addict. I think they're terrible together. I think they have a lot of problems. And I think that the producers were like, haha, we found our story. Yes. And that's the whole problem, is they thought it was going to be about Mom Talk and how we're empowering women by doing dances on TikTok somehow and selling you things. And the producers were like, no, this is our story. Because this girl is a shit show.
You're right.
All reality TV knows how to spin a story. That's the editors of reality TV are the most important people to the entire thing. So do I think that some things are exaggerated? Do I think that some storylines have been changed is the wrong terminology, but do I think that they have been exaggerated? Yes,
Misogynist.
absolutely.
Or they push the girls to
Misrepresented.
fight by going like, Whitney said that about you. Do you want to say
Yeah.
some things about her?
Exactly. It's
Asking the right
the
question.
producers are asking them questions. It's the same thing when we had Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
The producers used to go backstage before the Jerry Springer episodes would go on, and they would go, I heard that so and so said such and such about you. If I were you, I would punch that person right in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that is the way of reality TV, and I think that's great, and
Yeah.
I enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
fabricated? Absolutely.
Right.
But I agree with Jen. I think that there is a realism aspect, and I think that realism aspect comes from Taylor. I think that when we are seeing things the least exaggerated in these shows, in this show, it is the Taylor storyline.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I agree with all of that. Really, I'm maybe amping it up a little bit, but also the one-upsmanship of like from Whitney's perspective or whatever. She's just like, well, how am I supposed to be the main character, and how am I supposed to compete with this?
Yes.
Is like where her frustration. She's just like, well, if I can't be the main character, I'm just not going to be on the fucking show.
Well, and she thinks I'm going to come in with my scandal, and now I'm going to be the thing, and then she's
Right.
not. So then she's like,
Right.
I'm going to do this prank on this girl,
Right.
and I'm going to get everybody laughing, and I'm going to be the funny one when she is
Right.
the least funny woman I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yep.
Speaking of that, let's move it through the episode descriptions. In episode 3, a celebration for Jen's husband's graduation exposes a divide. The more conservative saints and the liberal sinners within Mom Talk. The situation escalates when Jen uninvites Taylor, Demi, Jesse, and Layla from her baby's blessing ceremony. An ill-received joke from a gift Whitney brings to Demi exacerbates the group's internal conflicts. And this is the genesis of the Patreon content that we just filmed. This all revolves around the Fruity Pebbles confidence, like the secret that Demi revealed to Whitney, which you guys had a bit more insight as to like
I think
why.
we covered it on Patreon.
It's kind of
I said I would say we covered it on Patreon and go watch it there.
that's a good tease, Joe. If you want to know more about the Fruity Pebbles prank, subscribe to the Patreon.
Yep.
You cheap fuck.
It's
All right,
worth it.
Yeah, let's move straight into episode 4 then. During Macy's birthday trip, the group engages in a revealing truth box game that the producers concocted to stir shit.
Yes.
And that brings an underlying tensions to the forefront. Taylor confronts Whitney about her absence from the baby shower, while Demi accuses Whitney of duplicity, intensifying the group's discord. So, the truth box. This is an old producer trick. They always. Right? Jen is a connoisseur of reality television. Are you on your phone? What are you looking up?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Seems suspicious.
He's ordering you a Christmas present.
She's ordering me a big box of Fruity Pebbles.
I was going to say you're getting a truth box for Christmas. It's going to have the best questions in it.
Jen insists that all of the names in the draw box for Big Brother are all placed there by producers. Jen insists that all the hidden immunity challenges or the immunity idols are all revealed to specific people on Survivor. Do you think this truth box game is a producer's gambit, Jen?
I think it's a producer's idea. I don't know that they chose who got the questions, but
Andy, I think the producers put the ghost gun in Luigi's backpack and produced
know
that
when
in
you
the
think-
McDonald's
we
and
know
El
you
Tuna
think
too.
Yeah.
The truth box.
The CIA is producing Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, for sure.
in the
Yeah,
last
reality
couple of
show.
years, the truth box game has become a real big trope on Housewives. Like, everybody's kind of getting along and everybody's kind of like sisterly love. Let's bring out the game.
Yeah.
To the point where sometimes Housewives are like, oh no, not the game. Please don't play the we're not playing. We can't play the game.
Yeah.
We know how this ends.
I've played this fucking game.
Yeah. It sounds a lot like this.
I kept screeching and screeching at him.
In episode 5, Whitney's departure from the group chat signifies a formal break from Mom Talk. She later attends Layla's divorce party, but leaves abruptly after confronting Jesse. Meanwhile, Macy voices concerns about Dakota's behavior towards Taylor, hinting at potential issues in their relationship.
So, and can we?
Remind
I don't
me.
know when. How are we going to get into like the hospital dance thing? Like, because that's like foundational in Whitney's relationship with everybody is kind of founded in the idea that everyone is supporting white trash Taylor, and
Mhm.
nobody supported Whitney when she was drummed off the internet for dancing in a hospital. So
Well,
like I don't
I
like
think it
there's a
was-
dynamic within this group. We're halfway through the season. We haven't talked about this.
So she did not go to the baby shower. And then it was like an episode or two later that someone's questioning her because she goes to another party.
This is when they all had the same sweats on, right? This comes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she when they have when they stay at the house for the weekend. I think
Yeah,
that's-
I think it's Jesse's birthday or
Yeah.
no, Macy's birthday party.
yeah, so we haven't gotten there yet, but it's I think the episode after the one Andy's talking about. And
Okay.
You want me to wait?
We
Oh,
can
we
wait.
could get into it. Let's
Yeah,
get into
because that's
it.
the next big thing that happens. So they get into a huge fight, and it turns out that she says like you all supported Taylor through her
Debacle.
scandals,
Being a
all her
trash bag.
stuff, and she gets love on the internet, and you don't see all the horrible comments that I got when I posted my RSV video, which is a video that she posted.
Yeah.
So her baby was in the hospital with RSV.
Here it is. Let me show it.
Yeah, let's watch this.
Yeah. It's Justin Timberlake. Oh, is it not? Why is it not playing right? Okay, hang on. Let's go back.
So there's a
Alright.
baby in a hospital bed.
Pop it. Boom, pop it. My baby can't breathe. Oh, you guys want to see it again?
This is when the baby
Sure, play it again.
this was when the baby was no longer at death's door and was getting better, and she was exhausted,
Nirvana.
but she just wanted to dance to show everybody that she was happy that the baby was getting better. That's her baby, and he's getting better. And of course, the rest of the world said, "Wow, this is in such poor taste. You are using your sick baby for content." And
Name 3 Nirvana songs. She's wearing a Nirvana shirt.
oh, and then she kind of says, well, everybody thought I was doing it for attention, and that was so mean. But actually, and then one of the girls says, but you told me you were doing it for attention because you felt
that's
sad."
I didn't even do this.
The
Yeah.
only reason that we ever post anything on social media is for attention. That is what social media is it is an attention grab. That's the reason that anybody posts anything. And this video, I do think it is in very poor taste. I think that anytime that you are in a NICU with your baby, you should probably not be on social media. Maybe if you want to post one thing that says, hey guys, we're doing okay. We'll update you once we're feeling better. We would appreciate the privacy right now. That's
Or
like a
even do,
great
like,
thing.
Even do a beautiful, soft little "I love my baby" dance, but not a booty shake where you're like
Yeah.
really like
She likes the
taking it.
booty shakes.
Yeah.
She does like the booty shakes.
So
Right.
I'll only comment because I did. My kids were premature, and I spent weeks in the NICU. There's a
Yeah.
lot of fucking downtime. Okay, like I understand like a reaction to this or whatever, but you're talking about. I mean, like so for me, 4 weeks, right? 8 to 10 hours a day. If you trust the hospital staff and you go home for the night or whatever, but at minimum you're literally there for 10 to 12 hours every day with your baby and everything. It gets fucking boring. So even whatever dire straits the kid might be in, there's a lot of fucking time to fill in. And she looks absolutely exhausted in the video. Now Whitney sucks. Like I'm not saying this fixes anything or whatever, or that like, hey, maybe don't put that on the internet, but a 5-second fucking dance video is nothing compared to the hours spent in the NICU for a sick baby. So
True.
I can't
I
tell
think
you
that's
how
a
many,
good point.
I can't tell you how many videos I got of Joe dropping it like it's Hot Wheels.
Yeah. I was worried. I'm like, have I dialed the twerk in yet, Andy?
Well, and it was
All right,
it was in poor taste, but that's the other side of mom talk is she has to be prepared for the fact that people love to mom shame other moms on social media the minute they do something that maybe isn't the very best idea in the moment.
Well, and not only that, if she had leaned into it and said, yeah, it is in poor taste, the entire point of mom talk is kind of that it's in poor taste, right? These are Mormons who are shaking their asses and their boobies for the internet, which they are not supposed to be doing. So perhaps if she had spun it and said, you know, the reason that I made this video is because I think that women who have children in the NICU need to be looking at it in the way that Joe Sixpack just described, like in this sort of a way, like, yes, I have downtime. Yes, I'm going crazy right now. Yes, there are many positive things, which is the fact that my kid is still alive. You know, like she could have absolutely framed this in a way where it would not have been hate towards her. Instead, she just let it be hate towards her, and then she wanted sympathy for it, and that's why we all hate Whitney.
Yeah.
But also,
well, let's hear it. Let's hear it in her own words, Joe. This is her
but
apology.
hang on one second. Like flipping that back, they could have supported her in that way too.
Yeah.
Right? Like she could have defended herself in that way, or these people could have supported her in that way, but they didn't anyway.
I don't think they really like her very much.
No, no one does.
My baby is floundering, and my husband's half gay. Please have sympathy for me.
Yeah.
I understand people are upset with the video that I made. I just want to be clear and communicate that that was me just trying to be positive. I think it's important to just not just assume what someone's going through. Anyways, I took the video down because I could see, you know, where somebody could get the wrong idea. But that honestly was just me just trying to be positive in this situation. But I do want to say thank you for people who have reached out to me and my family, and I just really appreciate it.
You guys feel bad now for shitting all over?
No, there's some people that just like look punchable or like come off bad, and she's just one of them, you know, like and like when she's like, I do think she's like what we were talking about, who's the Jen and Demi, are they, who's the better looking one? I think Whitney is like attractive, not no makeup there, but when she's all done up right, I think she's good looking, but there she's just like, God, I just want to like wreck her in the face.
She's just a mean girl. I mean, she wants people to be sympathetic, but if we're seeing a couple clips of her being a mean girl, imagine how many other times she's been a mean girl that we didn't catch on camera.
Now, we also brought up in the episode description that Macy has information about Dakota, Taylor's boyfriend. So they tease this for the whole second half of the first season, that Dakota is not faithful, and there's hard evidence. So
not only that, but Taylor
he was hard.
I almost fell out of my chair.
Taylor very specifically says the reason that this is important, all of these women are obviously a little bit off the beaten path, but Taylor very specifically says they find out during the truth game. They find out, she says, if he cheats on me, done immediately, no chance, no second chances. If I ever were to find out that he cheated on me, I would immediately dump him. So that's why that's so significant.
Yeah. Okay, we'll find out if that's a hard, fast rule from Taylor. Spoiler alert. Okay, so episode 6, the group excluding Whitney embarks on a Las Vegas getaway.
Wait, are we coming back to the hard evidence here?
It's like it comes out later.
Okay, it comes out later. All right.
About this time. There's only 3 episodes left, Joe. So they all go to Vegas. This is when Jen Affleck's dildo husband is on full display. Dakota and what's his name?
Zach.
Jen Affleck's husband.
Zach.
Zach
hate
Zach
him.
Flack.
I I think I hate him more than I hate Dakota.
Oh
I
yeah.
know that's controversial,
Oh
but
no,
no,
I
it's
hate
not.
him more than I hate Dakota.
Universally,
Okay.
His
understood.
Aryan race bullshit look, his long hair, his stringy dildo
Puby.
face.
He still controls his wife, even though he's a gambling addict who gambled away his trust fund for college, and now she's paying, and he's saying, "We're going to go to New York and do what I want to do, and I don't care about Mom Talk," even though Mom Talk's paying for his gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time they're there, he's pissing away money in the casino and texting her that she's a bad person because somebody drove her in the vicinity of a Chippendales. It's like,
and then she was like, no, I can't go near the Chippendales. Dude, I would have been face in penis going like, "Oh, this is hilarious." Like,
we know.
I could not believe that Chippendales thing was like heartbreaking for me because she was trying so hard to be respectful of her partner. And I was like, I have never been that respectful of my partner ever. I have made so many conversation pieces about penis. Like, if somebody asked me to a Chippendales thing, I would like, bring me up on stage. Here's thousands of dollars to just shove dick in my face right now. I think that's hilarious. And she was trying so hard to be so respectful, and he was like, no,
Yeah,
you are a
she was.
shithead.
He made sure that her night was ruined and she went home and sat and felt bad about herself. Well, he gambled her money away at the table for the
crazy.
rest of the night.
Yep.
Which they what, like 20? She's like, I'm giving you $2,500, and if you lose it all, like I love
That's
these
your money
rules.
for the
Like,
year.
Yeah, like, here I'm giving you this heroin rig, and if you shoot it all, you're in trouble. What
Yep.
are you doing?
Yeah, he never should have been along. She never should have given him money. She never should have told him what they got up to. She was very well behaved, even though she knew that, she didn't really want to be there. They dragged her there against her will. I don't know why, but the fact that she's being such a goody, but then also under his thumb, this is where I turned on Jen Affleck. I
Yeah.
started disliking
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
for letting this happen to herself. And then in the next couple of episodes, she is just like, "Oh, everything's cool. We worked it out. I said that I'll do whatever he wants for the rest of my life, and it's all sorted out." And all the other women are having a great time. And like, what are you talking about? You're just sobbing your eyes out for 6 hours straight. You ran to him in the dead of night because whatever, this deadbeat degenerate gambler said he was going to leave you. Probably would have been the best thing that ever happened to you, but you ran over there and begged him to forgive you, and now you're saying everything's cool, and the audience lost all respect for you.
What you're seeing with her is the epitome of a Mormon woman who has been taught what her worth is. And it can all be summed up in the fact that she tells us early on in the show that his father is like the head of surgery at the hospital, and her mother is a cleaner at the hospital. And she knows that she's beneath him. And even though she's the one bringing in the money, that's not what's supposed to happen. She's just doing that right now and trying to keep it kind of on the down low, because that's not the way it's supposed to be. She's not supposed to do that. She's supposed to pop out babies and be subservient.
Yeah, how many conversations have those two had where he's cried about the fact that the dynamic is off and she has to, kiss the ring
Right.
because this is not the way it's supposed to be. And meanwhile, that guy, he's the fucking worst. He's the worst person on the show.
Yeah.
His stupid blonde hair. Usually I like blondes. I don't even like him.
Giant head. He's got a giant head.
Giant
and,
head.
He's like the epitome of like Mormon. Like, he looks like the most inbred Mormon person. And yeah, you're exactly right, Jen, as far as like what's on full display is like the brainwashing of somebody as far as like what the dynamic of a relationship should be. And the fact that the thing that's just preposterous about this whole scenario that they've set up is that has full ability and evidence to be like, nothing happened. Like, I'm literally Look, there's a potted plant standing over here, and
Yeah.
also I'm over here. I'm literally in the background doing nothing. These people are oiling up Chippendales dancers, and the mere fact that I saw something that I could see on any beach that we go to. Let's go to Miami. You'll see the exact same thing
In
that you would
Disney
see in the
movies.
Chippendales. Okay, what?
In Disney movies, like
In
you
Disney,
see, like
right.
in Moana, like you see people wearing loincloth, like in Tarzan.
Maui is
like,
wearing the same thing as one of these Chippendales. Like we never seen the male form before? We have, okay? I'm literally standing over here. I didn't touch them. I didn't even talk to them.
Not
Go
like that,
watch
though.
the footage, Zach. What do you want me to fucking do? Are we making a show, or do you want to go to medical school, or do you want me to fucking make you a cake? What the fuck are we doing? And it's just like once again produced, whatever. But then she looks like she has a complete emotional breakdown over it. That doesn't look fake,
Oh no,
I'm
I don't
gonna-
think that's
okay,
fake. I think
no,
that's
I
very
don't think
real.
that's fake either.
right?
I'm
right.
going-
But it's like it could just be like nothing happened.
So I frequently get accused of being woke, which is odd to me because I
No,
think
I
that I'm
keep
actually
saying that.
quite sexist, and I think that I hate women a lot. So while I say this, I'm going to do this gesture so that everybody remembers that I am not actually woke. So what I want to say about this is a woman who is being abused. She is being abused so hard that she has to take the blame for everything. And that's how I feel about
making
that.
gesture,
Oh, yeah.
but just keep saying so hard again.
Yes, so hard, so incredibly hard. It's insane. It's
Yes.
absolutely insane how much she is having problems in this relationship, and she is taking the responsibility for it because that is what she is supposed to do as a Mormon woman, and just as a woman, we are supposed to take the brunt of the problems for our men. Like that's what we were brought up to do. That's what and that's what I do in relationships too. Like if I'm having a problem with a partner, I'm never going to be like, "Oh my god, this guy is such a cocksucker." I'm going to be like, "Boy, I was being such an ass." Like, women, like but I'm going to do that because
Yeah.
that's a bigger conversation. So I'll just go like this again.
Everybody tries to figure out like why, like how it's their fault initially before they realize that Zach's really pissed off.
Zach doesn't.
He split
Yeah, right.
he split eights at the blackjack table and it didn't work out for him. So that's what he's really pissed off about, and he's taking it out on his wife. But let's see. In episode 7, following the Las Vegas trip, Jen is distressed by her conflict with Zach. They depart early. After a period of silence, she reassures the group about their marital status though skepticism remains. Macy informs Taylor of rumors suggesting Dakota's infidelity earlier in their relationship, adding to Taylor's concerns. She's like 9 months pregnant at this point with Dakota's kid, and it seems like a Jerry Springer episode. They're like crying in the guest room in Vegas. That's the real problem with this. Macy couldn't wait till they were back home. She has to break the news in Vegas at the worst.
That's
possible
a producer.
That's producer.
That's a
I was just
producer's
going to say
move.
that is a
Yeah.
producer in
You
her
gotta tell
ear
her.
going,
Gotta
yeah,
tell her.
you can't wait any longer.
What if the baby
she
comes?
finds out that you knew before the baby came?
Yeah.
And before that, the producers were like, well, don't tell her yet. She's pregnant. Like, that there
Oh,
are
yeah.
two different, there's a good cop and a bad cop producer in her ear telling her exactly when to do that. That is
Also-
fake.
And
That
the
is
minute
fake.
she said it on camera, they knew they had her because
Yeah.
she's gonna find out you knew. So now we gotta find out
Yep.
the perfect time for you to tell her. And the perfect time is gonna be at the
Also-
most dramatic moment.
A production assistant sent a confession to Macy's Sinners Sunday. That the confession thing alone is a producer. Oh, I heard that I fucked Dakota way back when.
But
There's
didn't
no
they
way to
have
validate this?
You're assuming
they-
he didn't do it. We don't know if he did it or
There's
not
no way
yet.
to validate it. It doesn't even matter.
Wasn't there like a phone call, footage of
It ends.
her on the
It
phone
ends.
with the girl that cheated with Dakota? There was like
Yeah, we don't know that.
But
That was the cliffhanger of
Frankie-
the end of the season.
Frankie
But
goes
will
to Hollywood
Mom
already knew
Talk
that.
survive?
But Frankie Paul Taylor already knew about that girl.
Well, he said that they.
I think
said
you
that they
always
were-
say her name in a different order.
I know. The whole thing
woman
comes
with
down
three
to the
first
fact
names.
that he said they didn't hook up, and the girl says they did. And if he lied to her, she kept saying, "Tell me the truth now, tell me the truth now." And because she knows. That's the other thing.
Right.
A woman knows if
Right.
they're being cheated on.
And
And
also, there's
but
nothing.
they don't want to be crazy and like hysterical, so they need to find the proof. And then they get gaslit, and they know what the truth is in their brain, but they're gaslit, and that's the actual version of gaslit. They're gaslit until it's not true, it's not true, not true, and they feel like they're going insane. And you watch her go down that road in the second half of this whole season, where she's just
Uh-huh.
feeling crazier and crazier and crazier because she knows.
Right.
Nah,
I mean,
you're making that up. You're making that up. It's all in your head. Shut up.
Right. And there's nothing he could ever say. There's nothing there, like the minds are made up, or like her mind's made up. There's nothing that they could do. And she's only trying to trick herself into
Yeah.
believing it for the sake of her baby.
The
But
best thing is that she's not willing to marry him again.
in the
Yes.
She knows.
couples,
That she is so strong. Her whole family. There's that one episode. It's about halfway through the season when her whole family comes over and they're like, "Why aren't you marrying my daughter?" And he's like, "She won't marry me. Like
Yeah,
I'm
right.
trying to marry her.
right.
She's the one who keeps saying no. I think that we should get married because of all of our values."
Because I
Mhm.
suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the last episode, Taylor confronts Dakota regarding the cheating allegations, leading to a tense exchange. Whitney's absence from Macy's brand launch event underscores the fractured state of mom talk. The season concludes with Taylor giving birth to her son and Jen deciding to step away from the group, marking significant transitions for both. This description leaves out the fact that everybody shuns Whitney. Whitney tries to start a fucking ranch and basically seemingly has no place on the show.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the fact that Whitney, in a very dramatic fashion, left the group chat and then was like, "Why isn't anybody texting me? Why isn't anybody inviting me to anything? Why aren't they calling to find out why I left?" And it's like, it's so dramatic, and and she just hates the fact that her big gesture wasn't met with everybody going, "Whitney, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Passive
Again, though, like, why am I even on the show then? Right? Like from Whitney's perspective, right? It's just like, if I leave the group chat, nobody gives a shit. What I'm gonna go shovel horse shit on a ranch, and nobody gives a shit. So why am I on this show?
This also leaves out the portion of the last episode where Whitney reveals that she's pregnant in the most disgusting way possible.
Yeah.
She
Oh
she
God.
bakes her pregnancy test into a cake, a used pregnancy test,
Oh yeah.
into a family dessert that everybody is supposed to eat.
Again,
Yum.
she thinks she's so clever and so funny, and her instincts about what is funny is so
Yeah.
off, because they're
Yeah.
just like, "What is this? Why did you do this?" And her sister's like, "Did you pee on that one?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "We're not gonna eat your beautiful cake now."
Your
Yeah.
piss cake.
Yeah.
Her instincts are just so like, she should always do the opposite. She's like George Costanza. Do the
Yeah,
opposite of
yeah.
everything you think you should do.
Yeah. It's so almost, that is what's interesting. I would say change nothing. Just like follow her around and watch her fucking step at every rate. She's like a kid, a stuttering John. Like, it's just like she'll never make the right choice. So like just lean into it. You know, it's just like we gotta get her. Everybody, please apologize to this woman. Otherwise, won't participate and we'll all lack entertainment. So just
Joe, I
fucking
love
lean
that
into
this whole time you've been like, "I hate everything," and then you were like, "Change nothing." This is exactly yes.
I only get, just the disaster that she is.
No, you're right.
Well,
Yes.
that's you would think, based on the way that everybody else on the whole rest of the cast reacts to her shenanigans by the end of the last episode of season 1, and she just walks off into the sunset like a hero in her own story, that she wouldn't be back. But guess what? Season 2, they're like, we can't. This is the Joker. We can't have Batman without the Joker. And she's going to be in season 2, I think. Right? Am I wrong?
I just saw something that said that her and Jen are both, to some level, going to be on the show.
Oh, I heard Jen Affleck was like off, and I don't know. Like, I just have some gossip person pop
Well,
up
Jen's
on
been in New
Instagram,
York.
like halfway through, she's just like, I can't be on the show anymore.
That's,
right.
I don't know if
that's
it's drama
possible.
or
She
not.
lives in New
The
York and
recap-
she comes back and forth for filming, but she is going to make some appearance on the show.
No, that's insane.
Yeah, it says Jen decides to step away from the group when in reality her idiot fucking husband says, I need to go to New York City to medical school and piss that money away.
Yeah.
There's no way he's
10
gonna
years.
there's no way he's gonna graduate and become a successful
Oh, he's an idiot.
anesthesiologist or whatever the fuck he thinks he's gonna do. It's gonna be a huge waste of money, a huge waste of time. And she's just like, yeah, I'm on board with that. You know, this successful
Piss
TikTok
all my
channel
money
I
away.
have and all these branding deals I have and a fucking reality show of my own. I'm just gonna walk away from all that so that you can fail out of fucking medical school in New York City.
Yeah.
Idiot.
And we need her on the show because she's that juxtaposition of to the girls who have left Mormonism. She's that other side of, oh God, that poor girl. And you can see them going like, oh, we were there and we want to help you. And she's just, you know, she's got like the swirling eyes and she's just like, no, this is what I have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the fucking McDonald's employee that turned Luigi in, and it's just like everybody should be raining money down on this guy. All the fucking rewards should be going to this person, and they're not giving it to him.
Let it go.
All right. Well, to
No,
wrap
but
up,
hang on. Teresa, or just to bring this back, like Whitney, the only frame of reference I have, because I don't follow this like Real Housewives type of thing though, but just leaning into the idea that Whitney is the true show because she's such a horrible trash bag. The only frame I have is New Jersey's Teresa Giudice.
Giudice. Oh,
right?
100%.
Like
yeah.
that, if there's like a template for it,
Yeah.
that's Whitney is that, and it's the show will suffer without her because you need that fucking
villain.
lightning
You need a
rod of
villain.
shit.
You need a villain. And if
Yeah.
she wasn't going to stay and be the villain, one of those other girls had to become the villain, although I'm sure that will also
Right.
happen.
Well, that happens too, right? It's like who's going to fill the shoes of the asshole.
Yeah.
You always need an asshole in any friend group. It's just like if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else.
Well, on these
Hey,
shows
it's
too,
you.
if you have a really good season,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
probably
the asshole
gonna,
on this.
if you have a really good season, your next season might be really bad because everybody takes a turn having like a bad
Now it's
edit.
Macy.
this is called Sorry Not Sorry, and everybody was talking about Whitney's gay husband, supporting her, probably making all of her fashion choices for her, and now holding her camera while she makes this video. Pay attention to the lyrics. This is maybe not the best choice of song. Classic.
That's a choice.
Wow, that is a choice.
How long ago was that? Because she still had long hair, so that was before Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, or has she grown her hair back out, or gotten extensions from Jizz?
Yeah,
Her jizz extensions.
she's all jizzed out in this one.
I want those Jizz extensions. There is nothing that I want for Christmas more
Clip it.
than Jizz hair extensions. I just want everybody to know that.
Clip it.
And said Kaylee jizz in the mail. All right, I
send a bunch of jizz to Carl's PO box.
I need to know if I mean we didn't get a whole lot of apologies out of this. We got the RSV apology, and then we got this this non-apology. So did anybody accept the tearful RSV? I'm sorry, I danced in front of my baby. Mind your own fucking business apology.
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate Whitney. I hate her, and I don't want to accept her apology. But I think Joe sold me on it. I think that he is correct, that there is a lot of downtime when you are going through a tragedy. I also think that when you're going through a tragedy, your brain isn't always working correctly. And in addition to that, she's like 22 years old. She's a baby in and of herself. She's gonna make some bad decisions. Do I think that she made a bad decision and then she realized she made a bad decision and then she tried to apologize for that? Yeah, I do. And I forgive it.
Yeah. Jen?
I agree on all counts.
Okay, Joe?
I don't forgive anybody involved in this show for anything, but I do think one of the things we got to like how like Layla, it was so young, I think like one of the phenomenon of this is just that that it's called mom talk, and that they're so young. These are like almost teenage girls who are like framed up as moms, and that we're hot moms. It's just like such an odd universe to even throw out onto the internet, as far as like that's not when women are having children for the most part. That
I think
you're
in
not
Salt Lake
In
City
Utah,
it
it is.
Yep,
right.
in
I
Utah
know,
it
but I'm
is.
just like the rest of it's an anomaly to the rest of the world, where you have young girls experiencing this content. They're framing it. It's all. I just can't let this go by without talking about how clean and staged everything is. Everything is just like bright white, super lit, like all like angelic. The light blue jackets, the outfits, the framing. It's just so staged and put on because these people have very few vices, and their lives are either controlled by a patriarchy in a way that this is all they have. It's just such a staged joke of a fucking universe that seems like what you're like. If like a young girl was looking at this, they're like, oh, I gotta go get pregnant, I'm past my prime, I'm 21 years old and I haven't had a kid yet. Like, it's really disturbing. Like, it's legitimately disturbing to me. And the idea that it's like being propped up on like Hulu as a platform, or that these people are being championed or celebrated in any way, is really disturbing to me. So I don't accept any apology for any of it. There's like really shitty behavior happening on every level, including the producers. Anybody who's putting this out there, the messaging of it is really upsetting to me as a girl dad.
Say less, Joe. I mean that sincerely. Say less. I think you're right. We didn't even talk about the soda pop bars, which is
Right.
so
brought it up.
bizarre. These people are so repressed. But I do have to award this for the ladies saying that they
So sorry, so sincerely sorry.
they accept the apology, but we'll give Joe the courtesy.
We have to do, yeah.
Fuck you.
Andy, I would like to celebrate you that those clips sound way better than some of them have in the past. So I'm not sure what you.
Yeah, I think it was my connection. So I'm very happy that that song is back.
Yeah,
and I'm very happy that the very talented Kaylee from Once Over Kaylee could join the show. Kaylee, at this time, would you like to plug the plugs that you like to plug?
I would. So you can come and check out my movie reviews on Once Over with Kaylee, which is Cayley on YouTube. You can also, of course, go check out Patreon Popsicle reviews, as well as early releases to those movie reviews. That's Patreon, also Once Over with Kaylee. And I would like to also plug, I am so excited about returning to Vegas for Hackamania Back to the Hack on May 9th through the 11th. And if you use promo code Kaylee for that, you can get a 10% off. And in addition to that, today, I would like to plug Booger, who is sleeping back here right now. He was a pretty good boy for most of this episode. If you saw me freaking out and turning off my microphone, it was because he was attacking my feet. So great job, Booger. Very proud of him.
Great addition to the show.
Divine.
Jen, thank you so much for all of your expertise on everything Bravo and reality television related. Would you like to plug your Instagram?
Yeah, well, I'll say thanks for having me. I don't have anything to do with the podcasting world, but if you're at live WATP shows, I'm often there in the background or at the t-shirt table. So please come by and say hi. And if you like crochet or cute little plants, I'm made by Jenny Lou, JenniLLu on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, for all you losers out there that need gifts for your moms or girlfriends or whatever, you should go there and get them, because you have no idea what to get anybody. Jen makes great stuff that you should.
And lots of other stuff, lots of stuff for dudes too.
Oh, and
it's
the Bill
not just
stuff.
for women.
Yes,
you
you're
got
right.
you got. I know I have seen recently the Bill's hat. You made like a little beanie, right? So tons of adorable stuff. I love your cactuses.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. So, Joe, plug all the socials.
Oh God, I can't. What do you mean?
Please follow us on Instagram.
Patreon. All
Subscribe to
apologies. All
YouTube.
apologies. Podcast.
Yeah, check out the page. Patreon.com/All Apologies Podcast. And
Yes.
I want to thank everybody for supporting the show in any way possible. Happy holidays.
Yeah, Andy,
Everybody
did
that's
you
listening
know
to this.
that Hanukkah and Christmas are the same day this year?
I
And the
know.
favorite joke I heard was that you get to give everybody presents on Christmas and then return them for Hanukkah.
It's so true.
But
I'm very Jewish, and I happened to get an anti-Semitic cat, so that's why I think Booger is just attacking my feet. He won't play with the menorah and the dreidel that I got him. I don't know what's wrong with this asshole, but
yeah, this is what, Andy, when do they come out? What order? The show?
The Patreon
Christmas
episode will be
support?
out on this episode will be out on Christmas Day.
So Merry Christmas and
Merry-
Happy Holidays to everybody. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, all the holiday stuff to everybody. This is the episode where we should be saying that.
and we're going to be live on New Year's Day at 2 p.m. with a lot of special guests. We've never done a live, so look forward to that. If you're listening to this now before New Year's Day, tune in at 2 p.m. on YouTube. And so for Jen, for Haley, for Joe Sixpack, I'm Trucker Andy saying,
Stay sorry.